Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. This is our fifth and our last session for this boot camp. We will be primarily working on the pivot chart. Pivot chart is one of the functions that is mostly used in Excel. So we will just be using it, and we'll be explaining exactly how it works and one way you can use it. So we look at obviously the basic around the VLOOKUP, and then we'll just check its parameters, what they mean and how to use them, and also we will then use it to compare the files, just to show people how can you use a VLOOKUP to compare the files, and then also how do you perform VLOOKUP across multiple sheets, Excel sheet. And also other things we did in section 2, our week 2, where we looked at the use of VLOOKUP with the functions. We know about some ifs, we know about the conditional, logical function like if error, and ISERROR. So nothing fancy, nothing complicated. We'll just be going through that. And of course, maybe explore other use cases where one can use a VLOOKUP. And maybe we may even touch the disadvantage around it. Just like any other function, there are good things around VLOOKUP and other things that maybe it's not ideal to use a VLOOKUP. Yeah. So as I've said, maybe just to put everything there, we have a chat there. If you have a question, you can just let us know there. Raise your hand, and then we'll give you opportunity to ask any question. Then I prefer that we can mute yourself. I think it will be easier that way. Just mute yourself, and then if you have a question, you can just raise your hand, and then we will then give you opportunity to ask the question. Is there any question at this stage? Yeah. Without the question, then we'll just go to the next slide. This is just to explain the text of a VLOOKUP. How does it work? But of course, we'll primarily look at it from when you do it practically, right? So you will have like with anything, we mentioned that with any function or formula, you start with equal sign, and then you write VLOOKUP. You put the open parentheses. It will require you to put the value. So VLOOKUP takes 4 arguments. 3 are required, and the last one, if you can see, is within this closed brackets. It's optional. Yeah. So these are the arguments. The first value is the value to look for in the first. These are things very key, so that we don't have to forget it. In the first column of your table, we will explain it much better when we do the practice, right? So this is the value. This value you are looking for, right? You should be in the first column of the table that you are looking for. And then obviously the first one is the second argument is a table, the table from which to retrieve the value. Yeah. And then the column index, the column in the table from which to retrieve the value. Yeah. So you will be having the table, you'll be having the value. You are looking the value in this table, and then you'll be saying this table, when this value match the first, if this value match the first column in this table, yeah, retrieve this one. We'll talk around it there. So other one is talk about the range lookup. It's optional, is a true approximate match, or when it's false, it's an exact match. So this value that you are looking in this table, do you want it to be this? Do you want the values to match so that you can able to retrieve this value, or you want it to be more approximate? Yeah, we will also deal with that in in a concrete way, right? So these are the basic. I think if you can get this one, we should be in a position to do everything. Yeah. So I've shared the spreadsheet is more or less the same as the one that you colleagues have, but I'm having I've added the additional one. So I will share the spreadsheet now so that we can then do this practically. Can you see my spreadsheet? Yeah, I believe you should be seeing my spreadsheet. Yeah. So we talked about obviously VLOOKUP. We are using VLOOKUP sometimes if you have a lot of data that you want to retrieve. I'll give this an example in our case, right? In our case, we are having this data, it's a patient records. You see the patient records, right? And then in here, we just call it the patient's financial record. You're having two tables. The first table, it just gives you the information around the user. Who's this person? What is their ID? What is their cell number? Where are they coming from, right? The second table is about the patient.
Before I go any further, I need to understand the fact that I have a quick targeted information on our this is so then I will actually contact you the second one.
Is someone ask? Okay. Yeah. So if you have a question, unmute yourself, and then we will deal with that. So I was explaining that we are having two tables. Yeah. The first table explains you or shows you the patient's detailed demographics of the person, right? And then the other one shows you the same patient, but it shows you the amount and the age. Yeah. The similarity is that we are having this patient number, right? So you have these two tables. This one shows the details around this person, where the person come from. This one shows you the age and the amount. And then one may say, I want to consolidate this data so that I can know how much, Tom, what is the age of Thomas, and then how much the Thomas owes, right? And then as I mentioned with Excel, you have a couple of ways to do it. If you have a time, you can remember with this table, we're having how many? I think it's 241 rows. Yeah. And then at times these values may not necessarily be sequential. Let me do this just to avoid just to show that this is not sequential. I will do this. Maybe I will also take this one here, take this one here, I cut, I paste it here. Just so that when we are going to do calculation, we're not going to think that this is a sequential, right? So one want to say, how much is Mufogeng LSO, or what is the age of this fellow, right? We know we can get this value here. You know about the primary keys on the databases, right? So we'll say this value is a primary key, is a unique value because it's their IDs, right? It's a patient number. And also that value appears here, it will be more like it's a foreign key, right? So what someone would be saying, can you show me how much this fellow owes? What you can do, you can come and check this value here, and then you can type it here. But that is not really ideal. That's why you have functions like VLOOKUP that can help you quickly to get the values from the other side. Yeah. So I just wanted to explain when and how you can use the VLOOKUP. For example, let's do this one. So one want to find out how much is Mofogeng LSO. The first thing that you need to do is that your table should be sharing a particular value. In our case, patient appears both times, and that patient is a unique value. So you should be using a patient number to look up. You use this patient number to look up for the records that you are looking for from this site. Yeah, let's just do it, right? We want to find out how much Mofugeng O. We've said that you are saying equals to, you write the VLOOKUP. Yeah, so lookup value, we said this is the value that you are looking in what? In the other table. Which value you are looking for? You are looking for this lookup value. The value should appear in both, right? And then it should be on the same, when it should be on the first column of the table that you are looking for, right? Let's just do it and then we'll understand it. As I said, when you put the semicolon, it's going to show you what it's looking for. It's looking for table array. Which table are you looking for? You want to get this value you are looking from this table. Yeah. With Excel, you can just come here and then you can highlight it here. You can highlight the whole table. So what you are saying is, I'm looking this A in this table. Yeah. And then the second value would say, what do you want to return? Column index number. In this table now, you are happy that you want to find A, which is a patient in this table. This patient results this. But what are you looking for? Which column are you looking for? In our case, we are looking for column index what? Number 3, because that is our amount. That's what we are looking for as amount. Yeah. The last parameter, as I mentioned, is what? Is optional. It says, it's asking you that, do you want appropriate mesh or exact mesh? So what you are saying is, if you are having 18716, do you want it to mesh or you want it to be approximate? So in our case, we want the exact mesh because we want to really looking for a specific person. Because as I mentioned, the patient value is unique per patient. So in our case, then we are going to write false. It's more like doing other way around because I was expecting it to be true. But the false means that this is the exact value. Yeah. So we are looking for patient number, right, in this table. And then if you find the value, if you find this patient number, you must retrieve what is in a row 3. And then the value that you are looking for, it should mesh. It should be exact mesh. Yeah. So let's just do it. Remember now here, we want to put, when you are searching here, right, you must always start from B6. So we are going to talk about that thing of absolute referencing. We must put this table constant. And then I've mentioned that if you put something constant, you must put the dollars at the on the column and also on the row. So this is just to say that the table I'm looking for is in the sheet patient results, and then you should start every time when you search, right? You should start in B2, you must end here, right? So when you are done like this, you will just say enter, and then you will see it will go. What is done now is check this value in here. We are looking for value 18716, right? You are telling it, looking for this value in this row. After that, if you get this value, you must return column 3. In this case, column 3 is what is the amount. Then it goes here, it's fine like, no, this is not the one, right? When it's going to search the first one, the first value, because you put the table constant, it keeps always starting from here, right? Hence, that's why it retrieves the value. Do we follow? And then as you know, with Excel, what do we do now? If you want everything, you can just, this fill handle, double click on it, and then it's going to fill you all these things. Do you see? And this is, I think I've changed some of the things. The first row, this column, I've changed the columns. These numbers are not necessarily, what do you call, are not necessarily the on sequential. It's not like it's not like you can just come here and then you copy this and paste it that other side. You can see here, in this case, they are sequential, but in our case here, I think they are not. We started with 7D, right? But it just managed to get this value. So this is really the beauty part around pivot table. You're having this value, you want this to say how much is this. You can do it manually, but you're going to take the whole day. I think that's what I've been advocating, that we really need to be smart to use Excel for this kind of purposes. Yeah. So now, let's all of us, I'm hoping everyone follows, right? It's a, you just have to do it, and you should get it, right? Let's get the age. One want to say, maybe let's get for Mukwena. Let's get for Mukwena. One want to say, can you get me the age of Mukwena? PE. Let's get the age of Mukwena PE. Can we do that? I really like you colleagues to tell me when you are done. So I like if you can try this. Let's do it. Yeah. So this is the formula to get. Yeah. So this is the formula. So I think someone wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think we can actually do that. Unfortunately, I'm using a cell phone, but what you're going to return now, instead of like returning, so you are going to put 2 instead of 3, the index 2 now, because I think 8 is in column 2. Yeah. So the formula will just be the same. But there, instead of
True. That's very true.
3, you'll just put 2 there.
Yeah, let's do that. I think the colleagues can they. I just want to get the comfort that we got the gist around it.
Then it will return the H.
Yeah. So let's do that. Are we winning? So remember, it's equals to VLOOKUP. Yeah. Now we are saying the unique value in both, right? We're looking for this value. Remember, we can write it. We can write 7 days, right? This is the value we are looking. And then from which table? The table, this table here. And then without writing the whole thing, you can just come this on each tab, and then you can highlight it here, and then you put the semicolon here, and then you proceed to saying, what do you want to return after you get this value, right? And then in our case, we're looking for age, we want to return 2, yeah? The question is, do you want this to be approximate or exact match? And then we say, no, we want this to be exact. And then you double click on it. I mean, you can write it, right? And now, let's just enter here. Let's see if it's gonna get the value, because I want to show you something. Okay, in this case, it's gonna get, né? Because we did not put this as constant, the table. Let's just do this. Let's just drag and see if it's gonna able to return everything. I want to explain the difference if you cannot put this table constant. Yeah, if you don't keep this table constant, what it's going to do is going to do that relative referencing, right? So it's going to keep changing this table. For example, look here. Okay, let's look at old first, right? So old we say you must always start from B6. I can click here. It will always be B6. Yeah. If you are going to check for this person, you must always start from the beginning on this table. You must always start from the beginning on this table. Yeah. But now, if you don't put it constant, you can see here it's 6, here it's 7. It's a reference. Remember, I think I talked about this in our previous session. Relative is going to check this relative to the the cell that you are looking for. That's why it's important. Now it comes here. When it comes here, it's going to check from B14. When it's checked from B14, you may find that the value it's looking for is here. It comes before 14. That's why it misses the value. That's why you see here it says that not applicable or not available. That's why I think it's very key for us to understand why people that thought maybe I'm having obsession around the issue of putting the table constant. You must keep the table constant to say, if you are going to search for this value, don't start here going down. You must always start here, because you will find that this value, so this is what this BA is a, right? It's A13. When you search it here, don't start on 13. You must start from the beginning, because this value that you are looking for from this table, it may be already catered up here. That's why when you, let's take an example, yeah? You see this value is a 34, and then it's telling us, no, it cannot find this value in this table, yeah? 34 is here. It means that, you see it's here, but in this case, it tells you that it doesn't get it. So it's just because the moment you are coming here, you passed this. It checked down because it's relative to this. Let me do this. But I believe you friends understand me there. That's why it misses this value. But if we are going to put this constant, let's put it constant. Is to say every time when you check it, you must start from B6. 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 So you put the table constant, right? Then let's do this. Do you see? So it ables to pull. It's not going to miss anything, because every time you no. So you are looking for, oh yeah, remember, you see, because you are looking for this value, right? I want to illustrate that you can look for exact the value, or you can look for the cell reference. So it's easy if you are looking for cell reference, because you must always change. That's why you get the same value here. Why? Because you are looking for this person. You always, where you get this value, is going to return the value related to it. So it's easy to say you must return this. Yeah, and then when I'm going to do this, then it's going to go here to say check this value in there, and then it's find that this 71. Check this value in this table, it will return this value. So the point I wanted to mention is that it's always important to put the table constant. Happiness. Yeah. So I'm hoping we do follow from here.
Yes, we're following. Thanks.
Yeah. So I think it's very key. So the first thing is that put the table constant so that you don't miss any value. You must ask yourself, do I really looking for exact value? But in this case, because this is an ID number, it's more like patient number, is unique. people they are not going to share the value, then is good to say yes, it should be false, it should be exact. Yeah. So I've already tackled the issue of using pivot table across multiple sheets. Remember, you can still use it within here. One may be saying, what is the gender for you can use a, I just want to illustrate this point of around. You can say, okay, what is the gender of Makubo, for example? Yeah. So I'm going to say, I want to check this value, this guy here, which table, this table here. So the table starts from A, is A what? Is A6. Remember, you can write this, right? A6 to J224. I think that J224. I talked about this previously around on the previous sessions, right? And then to say, what do you want to return? I'm looking for the gender. Where you get this value, you must return the gender. Then column what? Which column index? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are returning 5. Yeah. Do you want the exact mesh? Yes. And then you do the, usually you must write it. So maybe it's easy. Let's write it. It's 16740. Let's take 740. 740 is Mashaba. Yeah. And then you will check here, Mashaba is a male. So the point is that you don't have to be scrolling down here. You don't have to be scrolling down here to say, I'm looking for this fellow, let's say 8854, 8854, 8854, 8854. The agenda of that particular fellow is a female, 8854. 88, what is that? 8854. Yeah, you see. So we are using the what do you call the pivot table for such cases. Are we happy here? We can you proceed? I want us now to illustrate the point where we are using the pivot table with other functions. In our case, maybe we'll be looking at the sum. So there are cases, right? And I really like this one. This one is really more practical. I believe most of us, we know, we can really relate to this. There are cases where you are finding these are the fellows, these are our patients, and then this is what they are owing. And then maybe there's a case to say anyone, every month, anyone who owes say, okay, I wanted to say maybe here it is 5,000, right? It's 5, less than 500, right? We don't charge them. But anyone who owes 1,000, they charge 1%, 2,000, 2%, up until 5,000, which is 5%. Do you get it? So anyone who owes 5 or greater will charge this. How can you do it? And I found this really very interesting because we are having different numbers here. Remember last time we added this, the VAT 15%, this is this. But from here, you're going to say, if this person owes, this is 4,000, you must add their percentage. How do you do that? And then you are having this. You are given this to say, can you show me how much this now maybe it's is August statement. Yeah. This one will be August statement to say, tell me how much this person owes. Now you must depend on this rate here, right? The interest that you charge them. How easily can you do it? You will come and say, this is 4 or maybe it's false here. Now is this times time plus this times this, you get this. Will you do this? I think this will be a very old-fashioned way of doing it, right? So, and then you come here, this 3,000, or maybe I must do it's 3%. If you do it manually, you're going to spend the whole year, right? So you must use a pivot table, and then remember, I'm not saying it's the only way. You must use a pivot table together with the sum. Yeah. So how we are going to do it? The first thing, let's just do this. The first thing is that you will now look at this value, right? You are going to say, I'm looking for this value, right? Where, I mean, you can still just say is A6, and then what is this? Is K what? K6. No, 6. And then I think it should be what is the last number? It should be K what? K224, yeah? Let's say it's a K224.
244.
Yeah. And then what you need to do here?
K244.
Yeah, it's K244, yeah? And then what do you do now? What do you do when you get this? Yeah? So that's what this actually is important. Let's start again. I think I did it the other way around, right? So what you are saying is you must look for this value. You must look for this value in here, right? When you get it, you don't give it the text. Let's say I'm looking for this, right? Where in here is A6, I'll write it quickly, K244, right? What you do when you get this value, what do? You return what? Column K. Column what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's where it's getting interesting. The most important thing, I want to illustrate this one first. So in this case, right, you can see that these numbers, if you're going to say it should be exact, you are not going to really get the values that you are looking for. Because in our case, we are saying any value that is greater than, equals to or greater than 500, okay, is equals to or less than 500, you must not give it a text, right? Any value that is, to get the point. So in our case here, we're going to say true. We're looking at the approximate match. We are looking for approximate match. I will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's start again. I'm looking I'm looking for this value in here. When I let me just check something here.
I think you're looking for the amount owed.
Yes.
And then you check if the amount owed is 500.
Yes.
If it's 500, then you apply 0%.
Oh, yes. So actually, yes. So what we'll do is that we are looking for, yes, the amount owed, right? We're looking for the amount owed in which table? In the interest table, right? When you get it, you must return one. There is interest. Yeah. Let's do it. I must use a sum because remember, I must use this sum. I did not use a sum here. It must be, I must sum the number. So let's start. Let's start again. Let's start again. So I'm looking for this value. Yeah. I want to find out, can I find this value in this table? Yeah. If I found this value, I must return its what? Interest. How much it will be its interest? Do we follow? Then the interest is what? Is number 2. Which column? Index 2. It should be 2. Right? And then it should be exact. I mean, approximate. Is this. And then we must close it again. Remember here, we must close. Oh, but this already is closed it us. I mean, it did that for us. Yeah. So is this correct? Is this the is this 1% of this value? Do we agree? Okay. Is this value? Remember, we should be here because this is 400 and something, right? It should return this. we are very
what you return
the calculation is not correct.
Yeah. So what the result is, the result of the VLOOKUP is the rate, the applicable rate,
yes,
which is 4%.
Yes.
But
so then you must add. Then you must add.
Then you must add
here.
the amount.
Yes. Yes. So but you got it here, right? You got it right. You understand it here. So now to add the value to, then what we do then is what? We must, because remember this is a sum. Sum, the first number, then it should be this value, comma. And then I believe you should be getting the right, no, something is not correct here. Something is not correct here.
So you return the rate, right? It's 4% with the VLOOKUP.
Yes.
But then you need to take that 4% and multiply it with the amount that's owing.
Oh yes.
So
So
you then have to. Yeah.
You are right. You are very right. So what we do here, you must multiply this value by this. Let's take this one first. Let's take this one first. Right? Now you translate it into the rent. The first step, I'll take this K out, right? The first step we are retaining the percentage. Yeah? It says 4%. But to say, what is the 4% of this? You must multiply, as we mentioned there. You must multiply this value by the result of VLOOKUP, right? You are getting this. This is the charge for this amount. But you must add this value to this amount, What do? You just, because this is a sum, You must this one, comma, and then this. Do you agree? That's why I wanted to take it first VLOOKUP. It returns it's going to return what? The percentage. Yeah? Now the question is percentage of what? The percentage of K6. Right? And then it gives you 100 and something, 184. From there, you say, okay, 184 plus this value. Then you know this is a money for August. Okay, let's do another one. Maybe let's say here is let's not sum it here. Let's just give it that is a rent value for them. That is a interest. That is the interest. Let's put it here as an interest, né? And then here we're going to put the total. Now it's the interest plus the total, right? So let's start. Let's just start. So to do it, that's why before I did not want to put the word sum, right? So you will say, let's do it again. And then if we can master this one, we are gone. So we are saying VLOOKUP. Let's start with a VLOOKUP. We are just interested to say what is the rate of this value. Yeah, I'm looking for this value in this table. Yeah, in this table, what you must return? We are looking for the interest. Its interest is how much? Percentage wise is number 2. Yeah, and then I'm saying, do you look at exact 4,600? We said yes, but we are looking to be approximate because these are the values. Otherwise, you're not going to able to get what you're looking for. So you're looking for to be approximate, and then you close, right? Now, it tells you that, oh yes, it's 4%, right? But to get the value, to get how much is 4% of is what? You must just multiply this value by this value. Then you are going to say, oh, 4% of this amount is how much? Is 180. Do we follow from here? Let's do the one which is different, right? So that we can see if indeed it's able to check, yes, it's able to pick the right interest. Let's check 1,150, right? We do the same thing. So let's start with the VLOOKUP. We can say this one times VLOOKUP, yeah? VLOOKUP of what? We are looking for this value in this table. When you get it, you must return 2. 2 is what? Is a column, right? And then you're looking for, it should be approximate. Yeah? And then you do this. Is this correct? 1% of this is what? Is 11. Now, do you get my point? So we are happy that, oh yes, this table, it can able to go, it goes here, it check this value to say, oh, it's 1,000, and then 1,000 is what? Oh, if anything is around 1,000, you charge 1%. And then what is 1% of this value? Is this value. But now in your case, you say, I want the total. What is the total? Is this plus this. Then you can do it anyway. You can do it differently. You can do this plus this, or you can use a sum. You can say sum this value, right, plus this value times the VLOOKUP, and then I'm saying I'm looking for this value in where? In here. When you find it, you must return its interest, and then I want it to be approximate. Yeah, and then you must close here, and then this will be your total. can we unmute? Can you just mute yourselves and then you will do unmute when you are? I think, friends, if we can get this one, this is really the beauty around the pivot table. We know, oh yes, this is the volumes, this is the interest. So then you don't have to go again to say this is 5,000. If it's 5,000, it should go and check 5 is 5%, and then say, let's just do this handle thing. If you do it, oh yes, remember what you must do. You must always remember what you must put your table constant. Remember, that's very key. You must always keep your absolute to do absolute reference. You must not change. This table should not change. This table should not change. Yeah, because if you check here, it checks from 11. From 11. Do you see? And then this value you are looking for is what? Is 1,000. 1,000. Where is 1,000? Is, you know, that's why you must keep the table to say you must always start here. I just want to emphasize the point that you must always keep your table, the table where you are looking the value constant, to avoid such things. Because you can see here, it's telling you that you must look for, you know, K10 from which table? From here. Do you see? I think, yeah, there's nothing. I can't explain better. I mean, more than what I've just done. Do you see what, if you put it, if you don't put it constant, it's putting it the reference to the thing. So now it's telling you, say, oh, you must start here down. But you are not going to get this value if you start from here. To deal with that matter, you must keep the table constant. Then if you do like that, if you do like this, boom, voila. And then it goes like that. I think these people who are dealing with financial whatnot, those nice English, they will really understand it. You see here, because it's a reference, right? Because we use the approximate. Anything that has to do with 500, around 500, what do? You don't charge it. Then that's why it did. It goes, oh, this money is around 500. Then I don't charge it. That's why the interest there in the rent value is 0. Questions? So then I liked this one. So there's someone, because I wanted to say to us to tell you that you must use you can use a VLOOKUP with other functions. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's do this one. So what we said is that you must look for this value. Let's say is K, right? And then you must also here should be also K, right? And then you must look for K where? In this table. Using for K where? In this table. Is what is what? S7. S7 to T12. Let's just write it from you sum this value, and then you multiply this by the lookup value, the percentage that you get from the VLOOKUP, right? You must check this value where in here it said is S7 to T12. Yeah, and then you are looking for You must return, what you must return? You must return the 2, column 2 from this table. And then it should be there. But you must remember to put this one constant, the table constant. Okay, you must put you must close sum, right? That's why it's give us this error. But it's going to do it for us. This close, this is for this, then you must close it. That's why you get this error, nothing. And then it's going to do it for you. And then you just go, you will go like this. Imagine this. I think this is really beautiful in my view. It's extremely beautiful. You can have whatever the amount, the values here. It's going to automatically just to say, oh yes, this is 6, or it goes to the time, is 4%, and then it gives you the value here, and then if you want the total, it do it for you. Look at this. This is 200 and something. You can spend the whole weekend trying to do something like this here. So this is really the beauty part around the pivot table. You can use a pivot table with other values. Questions? Comment? So the thing is that first the thing. Discard this. We know about this sum, right? You must just, it may look very clumsy, right? But you must, VLOOKUP is only having 4 arguments. 3 are mandatory, 1 is optional. The first one is, what value are you looking for? In which table? And then if you get it in this table, which column do you want to retrieve in that particular table? Right? And then the mesh is to say, do you want it to be approximate or exact? Yeah? And then it's going to retrieve the results. And then you get that percentage. You say, okay, multiply that percentage by that value. That's this times here. It's nothing fancy, nothing complicated. You multiply it to get the percentage, the actual value, right? And then from there, you sum this value get with this value. Simple as that. And then you can just put what you call remember you can go here. You can just put this thing. Are we fine? I believe I'm recording this. I hope. Recording, yeah. Great. So I think this is really the beauty part around the pivot table. So now there are cases where, let's do this. Let's say this is what? This is 50,000. Will it cater it? Let's see. Let me say this is maybe 50,000, yeah? Let's say 50,000. I want to check if it's gonna cater it. Then we do this, we do this. Okay. So there are cases where, remember I said this is what? Just to say this is small. Yeah. I think if you are happy here, I want to show you, I want to talk about something. Let's say here, I'm going to the if error. There are cases maybe where I'm having this person. Yeah, and then I want to go from here. Yeah, do you see? Because I just added this fellow. This fellow is not in this table. That's why the result will be what? Will be, and it's more like not applicable. Yeah. I added this fellow, but when I check him, I just want to 1, 2, 3, 4 something, right? I'm checking this number. in this table. I just added this number. I know for the fact I'm not going to get this number. What will be the result? Is going to check this number in this table. It must return, if you get this table, it must return the number, row 2, which is the age. But in our case, it did not find it. Then it gives us this result. At times, we don't really like, we want it to be more readable, right? If you want to make it more readable, what you do is that there is something called IFERROR. It's a function, IFERROR, right? Remember to check what are its arguments. You equals to, you write, you say this. Then it's going to tell you here, oh, you get the value, and then you must put the, if the value, if it's error. Let's do it, and then it will be easier for us to deal with it. Yeah. So that's what we want to. Oh, what am I doing? We're dealing with IFERROR, right? So we want to say, if it finds it to be an error, it does not return anything. At least it must say something meaningful, or it should be 0. It should be blank. So what you do is, did you see the parameters of IFERROR? Let me do this. IFERROR, let's just equals to, everyone can do from their end. IFERROR, right? So you return the value if you get it. Otherwise, you must indicate what type of error you need to retrieve. So in our case, we are saying you must go and look. We are taking the same thing. Actually, we must just put if here. We are going to say if error. You write it, right? And then you give it its thing to say you must return a value. This will represent the whole, this value here, right? If it does not return the value, what must it do? Yeah, yes. So if you don't return, this is the correct, this is the value. If it does not return the value, what error do you want to show? Sometimes you can just say it should not show anything, right? And then I'm going to do like this. I'm taking it down here. And then now, what happened now? It came here because I wrote if error. It says if this VLOOKUP function does not return the value, it returns the error. Sometimes you get the n/a. Sometimes you get different errors that you can get with Excel. As long as it does not return anything, right? You must return blank, or else you can write something here, not found. Let's see if this will work. Yeah. So then you return something meaningful. You see it. This is what the if error comes in. To avoid putting something, this looks very unprofessional. You don't really know what this value says. But then you can make something that is really readable, one can understand. So nothing fancy, don't complicate the thing. This is our actual VLOOKUP. In this case, it represents what this value here. Yeah. If it's returned the value, if there is a value, Oh, yes, return the value. Give us the value like it did here. But if it returns the error, you must tell us what we need to put there. I think this is very beautiful. Yeah? Happiness. This, I wanted to illustrate that. If error, so don't complicate it. It's in 1 to 2 parameters, arguments, parameters, right? The first one is the VLOOKUP function. This is a normal, this is our normal VLOOKUP. Yeah? And then if this value returns an error, if the VLOOKUP returns an error, you must write that is not found. And I think just like mathematics is just in the bit of what do you call it? Of looking at it, I mean, of practice. But this is really about it there. We talk about the sum, right? Then we did this together. And then we talk about if error, right? So we can go to this one is error here. We can do the same thing. So for example, this one I just give you an example. You are having this is your, maybe you are having a bash. Maybe let's talk about it. In your school or wherever, right? And then, but bash, remember, there are people from outside and even your school. You have a bash, but the participants in the bash are your people, the students, and also people from outside. And this is the list of the participants. And then in your case, you want to find out who attended, who participated in the bash, or this is maybe the party. Yeah, these are your students, and then you want to find out who participated in here. How can you do that? Right? So that's where also VLOOKUP comes in. So we are going to say that's a VLOOKUP, right? What are you looking for? You want to check this, if these people, right, they are in where? In here, right? If you find them, what you do, you must return the very same person. You must return the name of that person. Yeah? And then I think here is what? It should just be, we need the exact number. Let's see. Right? And then we'll go like this. Oh, maybe we missed something. Let's see if this is because we did not put this in constant. Let's do it. Let's see. Okay. So which means I think maybe we might be missing something. Oh, I think we are doing it other way around. Remember, we want to check, these are the participants, right? We want to check if this participant appears here. Remember, I did it other way around, yeah? So we want to check if this fellow, if this person appears what? Where? In here. So this is B. I think we just did it other way around. This is B. Ne? So if you get, then you must return who? I think it's D. Let's see. Oh, no. Remember, we must return the column index. That's why it's very surprised, this thing. You must return column index, right? Column what? 1. Are you still with me, friends? Because I'm making very elementary thing, and then, do you see? So we are saying you must look for, if this value, you must look for this guy in here. If you find him, you must return him 1. Again, it's a column 1 in this table, right? That's what we did. And then you go like this, and then you will find that, oh, actually, it's telling us this person is not there. No. There is a one, there, these guys, these guys, they've attended they've participated here. So you are sure, okay, I know these guys, that's why they did not write the assignment, they were at the party, right? But then to remove this, what you need to do, we talked about, you can write what? If error. If you don't return anything, what do? You must say not attended. Or you must close it again, I'll think. But it's going to do it for us. So if you know, so let's see. So this guy. So I think it get this guy, it checks here. Is this guy part of the class? No. Then that's why it returns this. It goes to check, is this guy in here? Yes, this is the guy. That's why it returns the value, right? It goes, I think, it goes sequentially like that. These guys here, they did not attend the party. And then you can write not attended, or you can leave a space, or whatever the case may be. I just wanted to illustrate that the if error one, to make it readable. Yeah. So now this one, you want to do the other way around. Then I know this one attended, but which one they did not attend? Yeah. So you still know that VLOOKUP is there. Then you should use what? You're going to take the same thing. You must then use that if statement. Yeah. So you must copy this. You must copy this. And say, if the logic, right? You still search. You still do the search. So remember, if logic takes how many? You check the logic, and then you return if the logic is true. If you return the true, you must tell us what must it return. Otherwise, you must show us the false value. Yeah. So what we'll end up having is that, so you are going to look for, what you want to find out is this value is this guy's in here. You see my screen. We are here. We want to check, are the students part of this? Right? If they are not, right? If they are not, what do? You must return this value. Is this guy part of this? Yeah. If it's part of this, what do? You don't return. But if it's not, then you return the person. That's how you can find the difference between the two. These are the students. You know, these students attended the party, but you want to find out which one did not attend the party. So we must use we are going to use a if statement. So we say if, right, VLOOKUP, you are looking for this guy where in here, right? And then let's just put constant so that we don't forget. This, right? If you find the person, you return you return 1, right? And then it must be exact, right? So we are looking for those who did not attend. Yeah. So if you find this person in here, what do you do? If it's true, what do you do? You don't return, right? But if it's false, you return this person. Are you fine there? Let's see. Did I close it correct? No, it's gonna crash. Let's just read this one. Let's just read our VLOOKUP before we can read this. So we are saying we are looking for B4 in here. We want to find if this B4 attended the class. I mean the party, right? If the statement is true, remember F. This is our logic, right? If the logic is true, what do? You must not return anything here. If it's false, you must return this fellow. Can anyone just mute so that they unmute and just comment there? I'm worried. I just want to find out. We are fine, right? You follow me? Mr. Rufiwa.
So from my end, I'm following up until just after the false. So are you saying that after false, the two invitation? Okay. So now I follow everything from the if function to after the comma, the inverted comma.
Yes, and then so if value is false, what do you do? What do you do?
It's gonna put 1.
No, you must return B. You must tell me who's that person.
Yes, we're searching for it in B, yes.
Yeah, so we are searching for this fellow in this table.
Right.
In this table.
Right.
If you find him, if you find him in here, what do? Do not return. Don't return the fellow because I'm looking for those who are not in here. Then if it's false, right? If I don't find him here, then I must return him.
Okay.
Fine. Walter is Walt.
Yeah.
We are fine, right?
Yep.
And then Mr. Mlauzi.
Yes, I'm following.
Okay, all right. So then meaning then we are what? We are closing it. Let's close it. This is for this, and then this will be for that. Let's see. Yeah? Do you see? Which means I believe it should be fine because this fellow, is this fellow in here?
No, it's not.
Then it should return him. Let's do it again. Maybe that's the beauty of this, so that we can really, interrogate it. So that's why it's really very key to interrogate it. It seems then we did the other way around. Let's read this one correctly. We find it seems that it needs something like this. We'll need to explain to ourselves why it's like that. So it's saying, we are saying, let's just test ourselves here. We want to check this guy, right? Is this guy part of this? Is he in here? Then we said he's not. It's not, right? Yes, it's not. Then it should, the VLOOKUP. Yeah, this is our logic. This is the whole logic here. Yeah, you must return. We look for it in here, and then if you find it, you must return it. And then
wouldn't you say if the logic?
Let's do this. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So it went and it checked this guy, right? Let's check this one. Yeah. So I think we must do. I think we did it correctly the first time. So you see this guy. We check this guy. This guy is here, right? And then it should not return him because it's in here. So meaning, what do we need to do? We must put them other way around. Am I right? Let's take example with this guy. You see 9.2, ne? 9.2, we check him in here. And then we find him here. What do? We must not retain him because we know he attended the train. We attended the thing. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's see. This is quite that's why I really like. We said don't return anything if it's true, but if it's not, then you must return him. Let's see. Hey, interesting.
Is it possible to if error?
Yeah, so let's put if error. Oh yes, we must put if error. Remember, oh yes, remember our if error.
Yeah, because if error is say
no, it's true.
If it's not there, it'll return your error, and then.
So if it's not there, if this guy, if error, this is the value. This is our value, right? We said if you find him, you return this. If you don't find him, you return what?
Wait, if you say, come again.
Let's read it again. We're looking for this one. We're looking for B. We're looking for B4. Ne? We're looking for B4 in here, right? If you find him, you return it. Otherwise, you return. Let's do this.
No, take out that first if.
Let's take it. Yeah. Okay. Let's put it this way. So it should be like, okay. Let's see what we come up with here. Let me copy this thing here.
So if error, say F4.
If let's come here. Ne? If this value returns if this value returns something, ne, you must put that value. Otherwise, what do you do?
Wait, did you say like? I think you said like if the guy is in there, don't return him. But
yes.
If he's not in there, then
it's like, okay, let's use this one. You know, you remember this exercise here. Let's use this exercise. This one. We said we are looking for this guy in here, ne? Right? If you if this guy is not in here, you must, okay, if this guy is here, you must return him. If not, you must write this. You see?
okay.
Right? Then we are happy with this. Right?
Yeah.
So we must take the whole thing, right, to be our logic for if statement. This, so that we can get these guys here. So we will say, no. We will say if, ne? Oh, man, there are quite a lot of things here. There is something we must not use if error, but is error. Is asking, is a question. Then it must return true or false. Oh, yes. It must return true or false. Here. My apologies. Here, right? Here it should be is error. That is the question now. It's asking us. So let's take if statement out. Ne? And then we must use the is error. The question is asking, right? Just check is error. What is the is error says there? Is error function. Okay, I forgot to ask that to remind you that. So there's one called is error. Just unmute yourself, please. No, it's error, not if error. It's error. So we are using is error. So let's come back. Let's come back here and use this error. This one is if it's error that becomes true, right? If this statement, let's start again. We are looking for this one, ne? VLOOKUP in here, yeah, comma, right? If this guy is in here, you must return 1, right? And then it should be exact. The question is this guy in here? Do you see? It's true that this guy is not in here. Do you get it? I just want to deal with this one first. Right? So is error. Is error is saying, is this true? It does B2, B4 in this table. What is the answer? It should be true or false. Is it the error? Is it correct that it should be an error? Because if this guy is not in here, it should return error. And then the error is true. Because here is asking is error. If error is true, but then if not, it should be false. If it finds this guy, right, it will say it's not. Let's read it again. VLOOKUP, is this guy in here? Can you return it in here? Let me pick one person there. Walter, I'm still with you. Let's get this guy, 90, right? Is 90 in here?
So you're saying 19 is?
It's 90, this guy. Is this guy in here? In here?
No, it's not.
It's not. Then what do you, if is this statement true?
Yeah.
Yes, then it's true. You see? Right? And then now we then, for example, let's check. I think it's this one. It's
no, but before you do
no,
that,
we must put. Sorry, we must put this.
Yeah. And close the range.
Yes. That's why it gives you that. That's why I think it's always important to put this. Right? So it goes, and then it's gonna do, yeah, it's gonna be something like this. So it goes, it comes, check, is this guy in here? No. It comes, it check this guy, is this guy in here? States no. Is this guy, this fellow, 92? Is 92 in here? Is there. That's why it's what?
False.
It's false. Right? Now we are taking these values. That's why now we put if now. You see the if. Now we are going to say if this is a logic. If this logic, because it's true or false, if it's true, that is error. What do? You must return the value. You must return that value. Right? Otherwise, you must leave blank.
Yeah, but start at B1.
Let's start here. Yeah, here. So we said is error, right? And then I think is error starts finish here, right? Is this value in here? You were using VLOOKUP. Is this value in here? Right? Is that true? Is this here? No. If it's no, meaning our result is true, right? And then we said, if it's true, what do you return? You must return that value. Otherwise, you might leave it blank, right? Then we're going to do something like this. Then you will know now, oh, this fellow did not attend our class. This one, I mean, this one participated in the party. This one they did not. I'm not going to go to sum if. I think for me we should be perfect here. I just want to take this maybe 3 minutes or so just to summarize. Yeah. We talked about the VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP takes 4 parameters or arguments. The last one is not mandatory. But these 3, what you are looking for, where you are looking for, what you must return after you get this value, which row, which column you must return. Must it be exact or appropriate? This true or false thing, right? If you find this value in here, so if you find this value in here, right, you must return column number 2. The same thing here, right? And then we proceeded to say, you can now, you can use the VLOOKUP with other functions. And then we gave this example here. I find it very interesting, right? We are saying any fellow who owes around 4,000, you must increase their amount by 4%. And then we said we can use the VLOOKUP to deal with such issues, right? And then we said here that you must first check which percentage this guy qualifies. This is what the VLOOKUP is doing here, right? It's retrieving that amount, yeah? And then when you get that percentage, you must multiply that percentage by that value to get the actual amount. And then we get this amount here. And then we said that from there, we say, give me the total for that month. And then that's where we use the sum now. You sum the actual value with its interest, you get this. Nothing complicated there. The key there was we said we are no longer saying it's false. We are using approximate. Because in this case, we are using the values. We are not looking for the specific values, but we say the range. It's more like the range. Yeah? That's what we did here. That's why I think it's always important that start from within so that you don't get things complicated. Start from the within, we multiply it here, and then you sum it with here. Start from within, 4 parameters. What do you come up with there? You are saying, look at this value in here. When you look at this value, you must not look for exact 4,600. You must look the approximate value that's closer to it. You must retrieve, after you get it, you must retrieve the percentage. After you retrieve the percentage, you must multiply that percentage by that value to get the rent value. Not the percentage, but the rent value. After there, we need the total for that month. Then you must sum the value with their interest. Yeah? And then I went to ISERROR or IFERROR. So there are 2 things. We use the normal VLOOKUP here just to check whether am I on the right spreadsheet. Can you see my mouse, right? Yes. So, and then we went and then we talk about the IFERROR and then ISERROR and if statement. And then that's what we end up having here to say. You start from within. ISERROR is asking the question is the result of lookup true or false? If it's false, or if it's true, you must return that value. Otherwise, don't give us that value because we don't want it. Example here was that, is this value in this? Does this fellow attended the party? Is true or false? Do you find this guy here? If you don't find him, it's true that you get an error, and then your value is true. And then if it's true, you must tell us what you do. What you do, you must return that value. Otherwise, leave it. I will stop here, and then I'll just open for flow for comments. Frida?
I am fine. I just missed the last portion because I got distracted, but then I think I'll just revisit when you're sending the recording.
The video it will be on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. So now I missed like a small portion, like when you did the if error, but then otherwise the other ones I got them fine.
All right, thanks. Mr. Ndwambe? We are fine. I'm just waiting. I'm just looking for the last comments, advice, right? So then, but I'm hoping that we should be fine then. I believe we should all be fine. So my ask is that let's check the recording. I'm going to put this now on YouTube. Let's just go through it, and I believe everything should be clear from there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just concerned that we are very quiet today. But anyway, I think we should. Yes.
What are you naming it as on YouTube?
Online bootcamp with Motokwe.
All right. And then are you loading the previous ones as well?
They're already there, yes. I think the other ones already got 80 views and all that. So they're all there. You can send to your friends and your colleagues so that they can view them. But yes, I think VLOOKUP just for us to use it. Nothing much really hectic there. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
I will. Maybe I can put the link here. Let's just put that link for YouTube. I'm not sure how it will appear from your end, but I can try. So I believe that's where you are going to get all the videos. I'm going to put this one now. Yeah. All right. Brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. And this is our last session. I thought we were going to elaborate what next, but what's next is that we are going to have another sessions. It's not going to be maybe about Excel, but other related issues like cloud, cybersecurity. How does that affect, the people from finance? I understand people from finance, people from social work, they hear these words, cybersecurity, cloud computing, machine learning, and these other fancy names. So my aim is that maybe going forward, as I said, this maybe is a stock fair. We need to be, I'll be inviting people from respective places or areas like finance and all that to be sharing their knowledge around things that is out there that is one need to know or be aware of. Yeah. That's what, just look up for those things on YouTube, on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'll be sharing what next from here. Or else maybe we might also have another session, one session to wrap up the whole session from week 1 to week 5, like today. People can ask different questions and all that. Yeah. Thank you. I'll stop recording and then